aroma, complexity. Wow.
Created in 1860 by Edmond de Ayala. So Ayala doesn't sound very French as a name. It's because his family, Edmond family, was coming from Spain.
Spain?
From the Basque country. And then his family moved to South America. And then the father of Edmond came back in Paris as ambassador of Colombia.
Okay.
And then Edmond was born in Paris, and at the age of 29 years old, he decided to learn more about Champagne. And he arrived here in Champagne, so Ayala, Aï is a pure coincidence. But it's just because Aï has always been one of the most important Grand Cru of the region. Here in Aï, we celebrate the Henry IV festivities every 2 years, and Henry IV was a French king in the 16th century. So this region was not producing champagne then. It was a grey wine, but we already used to have a huge wine importance in the region, and Aï specifically. So he arrived here, fell in love with Gabrielle d'Albrecht, and Gabrielle was given when they get engaged and married some vineyards around, a castle in Mareuil-sur-Aï which today belongs to Bilker-Salmon.
Oh, Bilker-Salmon.
Yeah. And this castle here, the castle of Aï, which now is a pension retreat, but we still have the cellars going down. And he gave this building, and this building Ayala & Co, it's because at the beginning it was Ayala and Albrecht family.
Okay.
So very quickly, Edmond was very young. He was 29 years old, had everything to learn about champagne, and he decided to do things a little bit different from how it was done before. So before, champagne was very high in sugar. You had 300 grams of sugar per liter.
Wow!
Yes. So it was called the Russian style. Then you had the British style, which was only 80 grams of sugar, but the French were drinking with 150 grams per sugar.
Wow.
So that's why champagne was drunk in coupe, and it was very sticky. You could not swirl it, and it was drunk with dessert. It's a very different wine and consumption than how it's today. Edmond decided to do a very low dosage champagne, so only 21 grams.
Oh, only.
Because for today it's very high, but at that time he divided by 5 times what was done. And so that's how, and Ayala is really a pioneer in the low dosage side of champagne.
Okay.
And today this philosophy remains, and I'll show you why and explain you why. And this is the oldest vintage we have in-house, so it's a 1914 vintage, it's a half bottle. And as you can see, it's Ayala & Co. So Ayala, as it's written on the front. And it's Château d'Aï, because we used to have this chateau, the castle of Aï just there. And it's written extra dry, because we were already recognized for doing this low dosage champagne. So and we were lucky because we got this bottle in 2014. And how it's a lady from the UK who called us. Her father had passed away, and he
had this bottle.
Yeah, he had this bottle from the First World War, because 1914 is the year of the First War. So he did the war in France, and went back to the UK, left this bottle undrunk.
Oh my God!
And then she offered it to us. So we were
that's
quite,
really kind of her.
Yes, it's.
오, 진짜. 여기도 장난 아니야.
나이 걸려서 못
우와, 끝이 없어.
Nearly there.
오케이. 우와, 와, 오, 장난 아니야.
those cellars, they have been really built to age champagne because, as you can see, it's quite wide, so it's easy to navigate. And also, this is a plan. So at the moment we are here, so everything is very linear and geometrical. So it was really wide to navigate, but also easy because sometimes in the cellars it's very tricky. But here it was the aim, and we know that they have been built around the 19th century because here it's only brick, but underneath you have chalk. And brick in the 19th century was very fashionable. So it was very modern. So that's why they decided to put bricks this way, which is under finishment. So it's an take of all the old vintages, and it's the take of the 샤르도네에.
샤르도네에.
Yes. Because one of the other pillars of the house has always been the low dosage, but now, since the 90s, the pillar of the house is really the Chardonnay grape, and so we really want to be the house with the best expertise of Chardonnay.
Because I mean, like as I said, we've been to like many champagne houses so far, and they are more focusing on Pinonuae, not Chardonnay.
Yeah. So for us, it's really because we really want to have like an elegant style and fresh, and we've developed an expertise with Chardonnay that I'll show you because you'll understand better speaking about the cru we use. So riddled by hand, okay, but also most important, as you can see here, normally in champagne you put, when it's on the lees, you put a screw cap.
Yes.
A beer cap, but here it's a cork. So
Already,
the wine has been on the lees with a cork. And that's why riddled by hand, but also each bottle is smelt. So it's uncaged by hand, smelt, to be sure that there is no cork default. And then it's labeled. So small quantities, and we'll taste it after.
야. 와, 그러네. 바로 코르크로 먹는구나. 신기하다. And I heard last year was not that good year for the quantity.
Yeah, in 2024, so quantity was low. So the appellation was at 10,000 kilo, and more or less the average was harvested 8,000.
8,000.
So 20% below appellation. But you had a lot of differences. For example, in some places in the Côte des Bar, they had like 0.5. It was a disaster.
Wow.
It was very, very hard. But quality-wise, it seems like careful with the water. It seems like a great vintage. It looks like 2013. And 2013 was one of the last cold vintage in Champagne, which gave great wines with a lot of potential of aging, etc. And so people, Julien, when he tasted, he said that it was really, really a good one. So here is one of the different wineries we have, and as you can see at Ayala we use lots of very small contents. So as I said, one of the driver was low dosage, Chardonnay, and then we do a lot of micro vinification. So we separate one grape, 1 year, one cru in one vat. So this way we can really have the expression of the terroir. So that's why we really want to reveal the terroir and the expression, so that's why we separate everything. So we have at Ayala more than 120 different vats.
Wow.
Because we have between 70 and 80 different crus, so we need to differentiate all of them by cepage, by grape, and by year and by cru. Then they are checked many times, washed, and then they arrive here with the cork, and then they are taken back again. So here it's all laboratories and so on. And here it's labeling bag. And here is once the bottles are labeled, they come here and then you have all the expedition. So all the trucks they do arrive here and leave the house. And here you can see lots of different histories because we used in the old times, the 50s, 40s, 30s to use big barrels. So this is a big foudre of 220 hectoliters coming from Alsace.
Alsace.
Yes. And then this is concrete. Like
concrete.
Old tanks that we don't use anymore. And this is mingling, so to do the blends, the big blends. So we don't, just before the bottling. We will bottle in 2 months, in April. The first bottling only happens in April 1st.
April 1st.
So it's quite recent.
New.
And the idea, 2 things. We wanted to expand vinification and reserve wines. So we expanded by 3,300 hectoliters. As the wine was riddled, bâtonnage, but it's very slight, very elegant. So for Ayala, the things that we decided only to put, like this is Auger, and it's a lieu-dit in Auger. So it's only lieu-dit. Cru coming from vineyards coming from our terroir, and it creates a wine which is very round, very. So we don't create a wine only from those eggs, but we use it in the blend. It gives like a pinch of salt. So for us, it's super important.
오, 여기 테이스팅룸 너무 예쁘다.
So the style of Ayala is really freshness and elegance, and even more it's like balanced and elegance. So balanced because 3 things. We use, it's a blend of 70 different cru.
Wow.
So you've seen all the cru we supply from. So for us this diversity is very important to give the balance. It's also a blend of more than 40% of reserve wines, so it's very important. And it's minimum 3 years on the lease. And the freshness comes from, it's minimum always 50% Chardonnay. So in this base, it's the base 2020, you have 55% Chardonnay, 30% Pinot Noir, and 15% Pinot Meunier. Only stainless steel vats and low dosage because we're at 6. At Ayala, all the wines have minimum 50% Chardonnay, always. In all the wines you taste, always. And always low dosage, maximum 6.
Maximum is
gram
6.
of sugar, yes.
Okay. Wow.
그래서 향이 되게 피가 난다. 네.
But it's still very in mouth.
아로마.
You have it's a lot of aroma on the nose. It's lots of white flowers, peaches, pear. Then in mouth it's very round, very thin bubbles, very elegant, very smooth. And then you have a very pure finish. Easily eat with it. So it's a very versatile wine.
얘도 깔끔하지.
깔끔한데 향이 입에 너무 살아. The frame is very huge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very big and then so yes, lots of different sensation in this one. It's not just vertical. Big, round. When Julien, our chef de cave, speak about the wine, he said it's like a sinusoid. On the mouth it's open, then it's narrowed, and then you reopen, and then it's re-narrowed. So we changed the bottle shape 2 years ago at the beginning of 23. So it was also a long-term project because to change a bottle shape you need to bottle 4 years in advance. So, and by doing that, why did we change the bottle shape? It's because before we were on a regular champagne bottle, and then so the base was a bit smaller. And at Ayala, we know that we need to gain roundness. So when the wine is on the lees, like that, as the diameter is bigger, the lees here are in contact with more wine, so the autolysis is a bit more wide. So that's why we decided to change the bottle shape to gain a bit more smoothness in mouth. And by doing that, we slightly changed the label.
Oh yeah, that's what I noticed
Yes.
actually.
a bit more elegant, but also most important is that we put all the technical information on the back label. So now we've always put the disgorgement date, but now you have the base wine, the reserve wines. So here we know that the base wine is 2020, that it has been disgorged in June 24, so minimum 3 years on the lease. That the reserve wines, they account for 42%, and they go from 2019 to 2016. So you have 4 different years of reserve wines. So lots of information. I think it's important. I mean, for us, we have nothing to hide. We are quite proud of what we do. So today it's the same base blend as Brut Majeur, but it's no dosage, so no sugar, and 4 years on the lease. So this one is based 2019, when Brut Majeur was based 20. So this one has stage 4.
아, 진짜 드라이하다. 와우.
And you see, this wine, I think it's much more for a connoisseur, more gastronomic, but you'll go, it has a lot of aromatic on the nose, so you'll have a lot of lime, a lot of yellow fruit, a lot of chalk.
Do we have this in Korea?
Starting to.
Okay. Because I've had Brut Majeur a lot of times, but I don't think I've seen Brut Majeur.
Yeah, I told them it would be good to start with a bit of Brut Majeur. Yeah, so this year they are going to have a bit of stock.
얘들 향을 너무 잘 뽑는다.
And then, even if it's a nature, you still have this nice mousse texture in mouth, quite wide, and then this very narrow, pure finish again. So it's very balanced.
진짜 깔끔하다. 깔끔. It's like, I don't know how to say in one word. It's like, you know, like
pinpoint.
Oh.
So we continue with rosé. So again, rosé for us, it's always minimum 50% Chardonnay. So it's a very high percentage of Chardonnay for rosé.
Oh.
So here it's 51% Chardonnay, 39% Pinot Noir, and 10% Meunier.
You know, every time we try different champagne and different rosé as well, the color is different all the time.
Yes. Yeah, because you have so many ways to do rosés in Champagne. Here we did it by blend. So outside of those 39% of Pinot Noir, only 5% is vinified in red wine, but only Pinot Noir and only coming from Aï. To give a nice structure. The idea is to keep this freshness. In all those multi-vintages, multi-cru, you need to have the Ayala style, which I think you find, because it has a very nice chalky bitterness. And the rosé, very aromatic on the nose, like red berries.
And I think Ayala expresses its characteristics so well, like it's dry, simple.
Lots of a bit more chili plates. You can have it with duck as well. So it's a very easy pairing wine. So with what would you pair it?
I think all of these, I want to drink
just champagne.
Just champagne.
Okay, by themselves.
No
Okay.
food, yeah.
Okay.
I love the flavor of this. Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow.
Crisp, refreshing.
Refreshing.
But also it remains in mouth, so it has a very good length. Keeps rolling. So yes, it's fresh. Yes, it's elegant. But yet it's also complex at the same time. As you say, simple sometimes it's a nice and a bad word, because simple seems like easy to make, but what looks simple doesn't mean it's easy to make.
Oh yes.
So it has the simplicity of like you happily open a bottle because you drink it easily. But
yes. You know, first time when I came Champagne area, I bought a lot of wine
bottle stoppers.
Yeah, like as a souvenir and for myself. But then when I opened the bottle of champagne,
You never use it.
No, I drink all.
I do the same. I never use it.
So I mean, like it's really convenient to bring back to Korea. So just to give my friends.
Just a gift. Yeah.
just a gift.
And it works well, but it's more a gift. I agree.
Blanc de Blanc, coming from the harvest 2018. So it's only coming from Grand Cru and Premier Cru vineyards, from the Côte des Blancs, and a bit from the Montagne de Reims.
I'm sure we don't have that in Korea.
Yes. No, you do.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But maybe it comes with a gift pack.
아.
It comes with this box.
와. 아, 여기도 패키징 너무 예쁜데, 박스? 잘 수 없어. We don't have any more space.
We can ship, it's okay.
Yes. 너무 예쁘다.
Before we only used Grand Cru and Premier Cru from the Côte des Blancs, and for this specific harvest, we decided to go to Bisseuil. And Bisseuil is a cru. If you continue this way, it's vers Tours-sur-Marne. It's at the edge of the Montagne de Reims, but it's very chalky. So the soil looks a little bit alike Côte des Blancs. So that's why we decided to use it.
입에 걸리게 하고.
Much more brownness, but again in the style of Ayala, so a lot of elegance, a lot of purity, but you have much more layers, much more complexity. You begin to have a little bit of brioche notes.
진짜 깔끔하다.
너무 일단 향이 너무 좋아.
She, you know, like she wants to have all the champagne that she tasted.
2016. And then what we did is to express forgotten grapes. So it's 100%, it's a white, it's a Blanc de Blanc, but it's not 100% Chardonnay. It's 50% Chardonnay, 50% forgotten grapes. So Arban, Petit Mélier, Pinot Blanc, and we did not use Pinot Gris. It's Arban, Petit Mélier, Pinot Blanc. And here you have the Arban comes from Haï, the Pinot Blanc comes from Avenay, and the Petit Mélier comes from Cuy.
Wow.
And it's only Grand Cru and Premier Cru from the Montagne de Reims, from the Côte des Blancs.
I think this will be my first time trying Blanc de Blanc with that
With
variety.
forgotten grapes.
Oh, thank you so much. Merci beaucoup.
It's the occasion. So Perle with the vintage, so it's a vintage 2015. It's always only Grand Cru. 80% Chardonnay, 20% Pinot Noir.
Okay.
And the Grand Cru are Chouilly, Cramant, Ménil-sur-Oger, Auger. And the Grand Cru of Pinot Noir is always Haï. So it's 5 Grand Cru. And 2015 is the 30th anniversary of Perle. So it's the 30 years of Perle.
Perle, what
because
is Perle?
the first Perle, the first vintage was in 95. So it's the 30 year that we launched Perle. But we only did 13 vintages. So this is the 13th vintages of Perle.
와우. 아, 이분도 샴페인 잘 까시네.
So it's the one you've seen in the Cellaris downstairs.
Aroma. Complexity. Wow.
So you have lots of third aromas, lots of nuttiness.
Brioche.
Yeah. And you might think that it has been through oak, but as you've seen, it's not the case. That it's because when it's on the leaf, it's with the cork. So you have a lot of micro-oxygenation between the wine and the air. So that's why it gives a lot of wideness. to the
Wow,
wine,
it's
and that's
really
why
good.
lots of those nuttiness, a bit of coffee notes.
And like cheese.
Yeah,
fermented smell. 그러네. 그 3차 향은 third note. A lot of third note.
비싼 맛이.
아, 이거 향. 오, 씨.
it still has a lot of freshness, and it's still a baby. This wine, you can keep it for many
너무
years.
맛있다 이거.
At the moment, we drank 2-3 days ago Perle 6, and the wine was just amazing. So you can wait for it for. It's only Grand Cru, low dosage. It's an extra brut.
Extra brut
Yeah.
as well. Wow.
Yeah, at 5, so you have lots of time before it will grow. It's not even a teenager.
스테어블이야.
근데 이거 너무 맛있는데?
그런데
소름이 돋아. Now I have goosebumps. So good. 와, 이거 너무 맛있다.
자 이거도 뭐 다 그렇. 특히 이거는 음식에 먹기 되게 약간 것 같아. 그냥 먹는 게 제일 좋을 것 같아. 너무 맛있다.
He said like champagne itself, Ayala is like too delicious, so he doesn't want to pair with food.
With anything.
Just champagne itself is like perfect.
Merci, c'est gentil.
와, 이거 너무 이거 맛있다. 와, 이거 미쳤다.
So yes, we try to be coherent in the range with a lot of Chardonnay, lots of diversity of cru, sometimes only Grand Cru and Premier Cru depending, but always this like elegance in the wines,
Yes.
always very thin bubbles, always this very good length and this purity of the low dosage.